Hey, what's doing YouTube? And this is episode number 11 of my 2021 bodybuilding prep, and this is covering the post-comp rebound. So this is 3 weeks after competition. So back into my training now, and back into some strength training. So what I'm doing here is working on my bench press. So during my prep, I didn't do any bench press at all. It was mostly machines, so very few free weights, free weights could aggravate some issues in my shoulders and elbows and that sort of thing. And I didn't have the time to recover from the workouts as I was training 6 days a week. So now into more of an off-season phase and working on strength. So this is the main priority, is working on my pressing and trying to bring that upper body strength up a bit. Back to some free weights and sort of lower reps and longer breaks between sets, and working mostly on progressive overload through this off season. So at the moment, on this day, 3 weeks after comp, I'm up to 112 kilos for 3 sets of 5. So I started about 100 kilos and then up to 105, 110, and now 112. So the goal will be 115 next week. So I've got the 5 reps. Wasn't completely convincing for the 3 sets, but still got the 5 reps, and as you can see, very stable and under control of the weight the whole time. So I learned my bench press technique from Paul Zaitis at Pato Performance, who's also worked with the Australian strength coach Sebastian Orb, who was the original developer of this bench press technique. I won't get into it too much because I couldn't give it justice, but what I like to do at the end of my 3 sets is go down to 90 kilos at the moment and see how many reps I can get. Once I get 15, I'll probably bump the weight up. But this week I got 14 reps, and that was one more than last week, so a little bit of progression there. It's always a bit of fun just to see how many reps you can sort of pump out with a lighter weight as well, once you've done your heavier sets. So the next exercise was onto the incline barbell, and this has always been my nemesis. Any sort of overhead pressing, because I've had shoulder issues before, has always been a big issue for me. But very determined to sort of build up the strength in these sort of movements, and stay away from the machines and just focus on the free weight barbells. So I got 90 kilos here. The week before I did 2 sets of 85 for 5, so I sort of target 5 reps, but got 6 pretty easy, so I bumped the weight up to 95 and got 2 sets of 5 with that. So definitely a good progress, 10 kilos heavier than last week, but definitely a long way to go. I really want to get this up to about 120 kilos for 5 reps, so I've got a lot of work ahead of me in the future, but I'm determined to stick to the movement, try and get that strength up. So then this was the second set of 5 reps. So always start with the bench press first, kind of warm up the back, and get the lats involved in the movement. So I'm thinking about pulling the weight down more than just letting it drop down, and I'm trying to think about pushing through my left tricep. That's the weak sort of tricep. Not doing reps to absolute failure, just going to mechanical failure. So when the technique starts to show a bit of failing, then that's the end of the set. So the next exercise is the Smith machine, so something where you're a little bit more stable and basically can just push through the weight. So using a rest pause method here, I wanted to get 6 to 8. I only got 4 with my first straight set, and then tried to get a few more, but was a little bit shy of 6 with this set. But that's what I like to do with the Smith machine. Now that it's more stable, I can do sort of like a more to muscular failure with the Smith machine. In regards to what I've been doing post-comp in regards to eating, I'm up to about 93 kilos in this video. I was 88.1 was the lowest I got to when I was competing. But now I'm going through my detox phase, I like to call it. So I'm going to be having low testosterone for the next couple of months. And I still like to keep my diet pretty tight. I have increased my food, and I definitely have a lot more energy now for training and just general life. But I'm always very strict with my diet, and because of that reason, for the next couple of months, going through a bit of a rough patch. I still like to set goals with my training and still like to keep on track with things as much as possible, even though it's not ideal. The situation is obviously not ideal, but it's something that's necessary if you want to do this bodybuilding thing long term. So then the next exercise, is dips, and I just stick with body weight here, just see how many I can get. I think I've got 17. I do about 3 or 4 sets of this. This was the first set, so about 17 reps with body weight after doing all those exercises. I could use a belt and add some weight, but I can't be bothered by this time. Maybe I'll do it in the future, just to cut those reps down a little bit, but I do like to see how many I can get with my body weight. But that was pretty much the chest workout. I did a little bit of pec deck or flies after that, but I didn't bother filming it. But this is where we're at. This is what 93 kilos looks like after competition. So obviously still looking pretty lean, even though I have been eating a lot more carbs, a lot more fats. Protein's still pretty high. I may drop the protein just to give the sort of kidneys a bit of a break. I have had issues with high urea levels in the past when I get my blood work done, so I'm going to be getting my blood work done pretty soon, and I like to try and keep my protein to like 100 grams or 120 grams a day, so pretty much halving the serving of the protein, but I'll bump the carbs up and the fats up. Normally the carbs are just rice and sweet potato, and fats are mostly your dark chocolate, avocado, macadamia nut oil, eggs, egg yellows, that sort of thing. So it's all pretty healthy food, and most meals at the moment are protein, carbs and fats. So a meal, for an example, would be 150 grams of chicken, 100 grams of rice, and maybe 50 grams of avocado, something like that. Get all the sources in one meal. So as you can see, my legs always look pretty lean and pretty good. The main area that I sort of gain my fat post-competition is the lower back, which you'll see in a minute, but everything else looks pretty lean. The lower abs and the lower back is basically where I put on the body fat. This was just after the chest workout, so I still look pretty pumped up. It's not the best lighting, it's kind of got a bit too much sunlight, it's a bit too bright, but you can still see that I'm still holding some decent shape 3 weeks out from my competition. And this is where you'll see just my lower back. It still looks lean obviously, but that'll be the spot where I gain the body fat. So the goal at the moment is to get my body weight up to 100 kilos this off season. So another 7 kilos on top of what I am now, but that won't be until about June, July, August. I'll probably be trying to push the body weight up to 100 kilos at that time of the year, because I want to compete again in March next year. So I kind of got to really be on top of the food this off season and get that body weight up to give me more chance of winning at that IFBB Pro League level. So I was 88 kilos for my competition. I can be 93, so I've got heaps of room to grow. I've considered taking 2 years to do it, but I'm 33 going on 34, so I kind of want to sort of hurry things up a little bit at the moment and try and compete every year while I still am pretty young, because it kind of does hold you back in other areas of life, like relationships and things like that. It gets in the way, makes it very difficult to hold down a relationship, and also goals with finance and work, that sort of thing. I'll get into that a little bit later with my financial goals and things of that nature. But that's the end of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you again soon.